world of Indian pharma is changing. It's changing fast. The ground beneath our feet is shifting. What worked yesterday will not work tomorrow. It's as simple as that. For decades, the model was clear: a medical representative, a bag full of samples, and a list of doctors to visit. This was the game of detailing. You knock on one door, then the next, then the next. You talk about your product, leave a brochure, and hope the doctor remembers you when writing a prescription. It was a numbers game, a game of volume. But today, that game is over for big, sustainable growth. The market has evolved. It has become smarter, bigger, and more complex. You cannot win a marathon by sprinting for the first 100 meters. Look around you. What do you see? You see consolidation. Small, standalone clinics are giving way to large, organized hospital chains. Think about it. Apollo, Fortis, Max Healthcare, Manipal Hospitals. These are not just hospitals anymore. They are massive corporations. They have centralized purchasing departments. They have powerful pharmacy heads and influential medical directors. Decisions are no longer made by a single doctor in their cabin. They are made in boardrooms by committees that analyze data, scrutinize costs, and demand value. Trying to win over these giants one doctor at a time is like trying to empty the ocean with a teaspoon. It's an impossible task. You need a new strategy, a new approach. This is where the urgency comes from. It is not a choice, it is a necessity. If you continue to play the old game, you will be left behind. The competition is not just other pharma companies, it is the changing structure of the healthcare industry itself. The power has shifted from the individual practitioner to the institution. These large hospital accounts represent a huge portion of the market share. A single deal with a major hospital chain can be worth more than visiting 1,000 individual doctors. But to win that deal, you cannot just show up with a sample. You need a plan. You need to understand their business, their challenges, and their goals. You need to speak their language, the language of business, of value, and of partnership. So what is the answer? The answer is a fundamental shift in thinking. The answer is key account management, or CAM. It's not just a new term for sales. It is a completely different philosophy. It's about moving from a transactional relationship to a transformational partnership. It's about seeing the hospital not as a customer, but as a partner in growth. This requires a new set of skills, and a new way of organizing activity. The old model was about breadth, and as many doctors as possible. The new model is about depth, building deep, meaningful, and mutually beneficial relationships with a few critical accounts. This is the future, and it is happening right now today, on July 23rd, 2025. What is the real difference between a medical rep and a key account manager? Let's use a simple analogy. Imagine two types of builders. The first builder sells bricks. He goes from site to site, talking to anyone who will listen. I have the best bricks, he says. They are strong, they are cheap. He sells a truckload here, a truckload there. His job is to sell bricks, and once the transaction is done, he moves on to the next customer. This is the old medical rep model. The focus is on the product, the transaction, and the volume. It's a short-term game. It's about hitting this month's target. Now, imagine a second type of builder. This person is an architect. He doesn't just sell bricks. He sits down with the client who wants to build a magnificent hospital. He asks questions. What is your vision for this hospital? Who are your patients? What are your biggest challenges? How can we design a building that is efficient, patient-friendly, and profitable for the next 50 years? He understands the client's world, their dreams, and their problems. He then designs a complete blueprint, a solution. He brings together the best materials, the best engineers, and the best technology to make that vision a reality. This is the key account manager. His focus is not on the transaction, it is on the long-term partnership and the shared success. This mindset shift is the core of CAM. It is about moving from what can I sell you to how can we achieve your goals together. It's a profound change. You are no longer just a supplier, you are a strategic partner. You stop thinking about your own sales targets in isolation and start thinking about the account's key performance indicators. Does the hospital want to reduce patient readmission rates? Does it want to improve its operational efficiency in the pharmacy? Does it want to build its reputation as a center of excellence for a specific therapy area? Your job is to find out and then figure out how your company's resources, knowledge, and products can help them get there. This requires empathy, business acumen, and a deep curiosity. A key account manager must be a problem solver, a consultant, and a relationship builder all in one. They need to understand finance, marketing operations, and clinical pathways, not just the pharmacology of their drug. The conversation changes from product features and benefits to strategic alignment and joint value creation. You are building a bridge of trust, not just a pipeline of sales. This trust is your most valuable asset. It's what allows you to have honest conversations, to co-create solutions, and to become an indispensable part of their success story. This is the true meaning of partnership. So where do you start? How do you find these key accounts in a market as vast and diverse as India? It's not about throwing darts at a map. It's a systematic, data-driven process. The first step is to define what a key account even means for your company. It's not just about size. An account is key if it has a significant impact on your strategic goals. This could be about sales volume, yes, but it could also be about its influence, its potential for growth, or its role as a leader in medical innovation. You must look beyond the obvious and see the hidden potential. The process begins with robust data analysis. Indian pharma companies now have access to incredible data sources. We have IMS Health, now called IQVIA, data showing prescription trends and market share at a granular level. We have internal sales data that shows which institutions are already purchasing our high-value products. We look at government tenders and public health program data. We analyze reports from industry bodies. The goal is to create a long list of potential accounts based on quantitative criteria. We might filter by the number of beds, the specialization, like oncology or cardiology, patient footfall, and current purchasing volume. For example, a hospital in Mumbai doing 500 cardiac surgeries a month is a potential key account for a cardiovascular portfolio. Once you have this long list, the real work of profiling begins. This is where you go from numbers on a spreadsheet to a deep understanding of the institution. It's like creating a detailed biography for each hospital. You need to answer critical questions. What is their mission and vision? Who are their key competitors? What is their financial health? What are their strategic priorities for the next 3 years? Are they planning to expand? Are they trying to get NABH accreditation? You gather this information from their annual reports, press releases, website, and by talking to people on the ground. You are looking for their pain points and their ambitions. Let's take a live example. A pharma company identifies a large hospital chain in Bengaluru that has publicly stated its goal to become a leading center for robotic surgery. This is a huge opportunity. The profiling process would dig deeper. What is their current surgical volume? Which surgeons are leading this initiative? What are the potential bottlenecks? Maybe their post-operative infection rates are a concern, or perhaps they need help training their staff on new protocols. This pain point, the risk of infection, becomes an opportunity. The pharma company, which has a leading antibiotic and a robust medical education program, can now craft a solution that directly addresses this critical need. This is how you move from a generic sales pitch to a targeted, high-value proposal. Once you have identified a key account, the next crucial step is to understand the people inside it. An institution is not a faceless building. It is a complex web of human beings with different roles, motivations, and levels of influence. Just knowing the name of the medical director is not enough. You need to map the entire ecosystem of decision makers. This process is called stakeholder mapping. It is the art and science of identifying who really matters, what they care about, and how they connect to each other. It's about understanding the politics and the power dynamics within the hospital. Your map should include a wide range of roles. Of course, you have the obvious ones: the chief executive officer, the chief medical officer, and the head of pharmacy. These are the classic decision makers. But the real magic happens when you identify the hidden influencers. Who is the senior cardiologist that everyone respects, even though he doesn't have a formal administrative title? Who is the pharmacy manager who controls the inventory and can make or break the adoption of a new drug? Who is the head of the nursing staff, the person who sees the real-world impact of a treatment on patients every single day? These are the people whose opinions shape the final decision. Let me share a real story. A pharma company was trying to get its new oncology drug into a major cancer institute in Delhi. They spent months meeting with the senior oncologists and the purchase head. They made no progress. The deal was stuck. Then, a smart key account manager did some digging. He discovered that the hospital's tumor board decisions were heavily influenced by a junior, research-focused oncologist who was an expert in genetic markers. This young doctor was not on any official committee, but the senior doctors trusted his scientific judgment completely. The CAM changed his approach. He engaged this young doctor in a purely scientific discussion, sharing clinical trial data and research papers. Within a month, the recommendation changed and the drug was approved. That is the power of finding the hidden influencer. So for each stakeholder, you need to build a mini profile. What is their role and responsibility? What are their personal and professional goals? What are their key challenges or pain points? Who do they influence and who influences them? Are they a supporter, a neutral party, or a blocker of your solution? You classify them. There are economic buyers like the head of procurement focused on cost. Clinical buyers, like the head of department, focused on patient outcomes, and end users, like the nurses, focused on ease of administration. Understanding these different perspectives allows you to tailor your communication and your value proposition to what each person cares about most. It's not manipulation, it's deep, respectful understanding. Having a great strategy is one thing, executing it is another. A key account plan is your blueprint for execution. It's a living document that turns your insights and goals into a concrete action plan. It's not a report that you write once and file away. It is your guide, your roadmap that you review and update constantly. Without a plan, your efforts will be scattered and reactive. With a plan, your actions become purposeful, coordinated, and focused on achieving a specific outcome. It ensures that everyone on your team is aligned and moving in the same direction. The plan starts with a clear overview of the account. This includes the basic profile you created earlier, their size, specialty, strategic goals, and key challenges. Then comes a candid assessment of your current relationship. Where do you stand today? Are you a simple supplier, a preferred vendor, or a true strategic partner? A SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, is essential here. What are your strengths in this account? Where are your weaknesses? What opportunities can you seize? What threats, like a competitor's new product, do you need to watch out for? This honest self-assessment is the foundation for everything that follows. Next, you define your objectives, and these must be SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. A vague goal like increased sales is useless. A SMART objective would be to become the primary supplier for our new diabetes drug in XYZ hospital, achieving a 40% market share within their endocrinology department by the end of Q4 2026, resulting in INR 2 crore in revenue. See the difference? It's precise, it's measurable, it sets a clear target and a deadline. You should have both relationship goals, for example, be recognized as a strategic partner by the CEO, and financial goals, like achieve specific revenue targets. Finally, the plan details the how. What is your value proposition? How will you create clinical, economic, and operational value for the hospital? What specific actions will you take? Who is responsible for each action? What is the timeline? For instance, an action item might be Medical Science Liaison to conduct a workshop on new treatment guidelines for the cardiology department in August. Another could be Supply Chain Manager to meet with the hospital's pharmacy head in September to propose a new inventory management solution. The plan should also include a budget for these activities and a framework for tracking progress. This detailed planning is what separates hope from strategy. In the world of key account management, the product itself is only a part of the story. Simply having a good drug is no longer enough. The key accounts, the large hospitals, are looking for more. They are looking for partners who can deliver tangible value that goes beyond the pill. This value can be broken down into 4 critical areas: clinical, economic, operational, and reputational. A successful CAM strategy must address all four. You are not just selling a molecule, you are selling a comprehensive solution that helps the entire hospital system perform better. Clinical value is the most direct. This is about improving patient outcomes. How does your solution help the hospital deliver better care? For example, a company with a new antibiotic that reduces the length of hospital stay for post-operative patients is providing immense clinical value. This can be supported by conducting joint research projects, providing medical education for doctors and nurses on the latest treatment protocols, or helping them develop clinical pathways that standardize care and improve results. In one case in India, a pharma company helped a hospital set up a specialized stroke-ready unit by providing training and protocol support, which dramatically reduced mortality rates. That is value. Economic value is what speaks to the C-suite and the procurement department. This is about helping the hospital save money or generate more revenue. It's not just about offering the lowest price, it's about demonstrating a better total cost of ownership. For instance, a drug that is more expensive up front but prevents costly complications or readmissions later is economically superior. You can also provide economic value by offering innovative pricing models, helping them with reimbursement challenges, or providing data that helps them justify investments in new technology. A pharma company helped a hospital in Chennai optimize its pharmacy inventory, reducing wastage by 15% and freeing up significant capital. That is powerful economic value. Finally, we have operational and reputational value. Operational value is about making the hospital run more smoothly. Can you simplify their processes? Can you ensure a reliable and timely supply chain so they never face a stockout of a critical medicine? Can you provide patient support programs that reduce the administrative burden on their staff? Reputational value is about helping the hospital build its brand, partnering with them on a public health awareness campaign, or helping them get their research published in a prestigious journal enhances their reputation as a center of excellence. When you help a hospital become famous for its high-quality care, you become more than a supplier. You become a partner in their legacy. Winning a complex key account is not a one-person job. The era of the lone wolf salesperson is over. It takes a team. It takes a coordinated effort from different experts within your own company. This is the concept of the virtual account team. It is a cross-functional group of people led by the key account manager, who all work together to serve the needs of the hospital. The KAM is the quarterback, the conductor of the orchestra. They don't have to know everything, but they need to know who to bring in at the right time to deliver the right expertise. The core of this team includes several key roles. First, you have the key account manager, the strategic lead, and primary relationship owner. Then you have the medical science liaison. The MSL is a scientist, often with a doctorate. They are not a salesperson. Their role is to have deep, peer-to-peer scientific conversations with the hospital's clinical leaders. They discuss complex data, clinical trials, and the science behind the medicine. They build credibility and trust on a scientific level. They are the bridge between your R&D and the hospital's top minds. Next, you need people from the commercial and operational side. A market access manager is crucial. This person understands the complex world of pricing, reimbursement, and hospital formularies. They help navigate the financial hurdles and ensure the hospital can actually afford and get paid for using your product. A supply chain specialist is also vital. They work with the hospital's pharmacy to ensure a smooth, reliable, and efficient supply of medicines. Nothing destroys a relationship faster than a stockout of a life-saving drug. This person ensures that your promises are backed by flawless logistics. Finally, don't forget the power of bringing in your own senior leadership. A visit from your company's country manager or medical director can send a powerful message to the hospital's leadership. It shows that your company is committed to the partnership from the very top. The virtual team might also include people from marketing, who can help with co-branded patient education materials, or regulatory affairs, who can help navigate complex compliance issues. The CAM's job is to assemble this dream team, ensure everyone understands the account plan, and orchestrate their interactions with the hospital to create a seamless and powerful experience for the customer. How do you know if your key account management strategy is working? In the old model, it was simple. Did you hit your sales number? In KM, success is more nuanced. While sales are still important, they are a lagging indicator. They tell you the result of your past actions. To truly manage performance, you need to track leading indicators as well. The activities and progress that will lead to future sales. You need a balanced scorecard of key performance indicators that are specific to the Indian market and reflect the long-term nature of partnership building. Your KPIs should be a mix of quantitative and qualitative measures. On the quantitative side, you have the financial metrics. These include things like account-level sales growth, market share within the account, and the profitability of the account. But you can get more sophisticated. You can track the share of wallet. What percentage of the hospital's total spending in your therapy area are you capturing? You can also measure the adoption rate of your new products within the key account. For example, a KPI could be achieve 75% formulary listing for our new oncology drug across all 15 hospitals in the ABC chain within 12 months. Then you have the qualitative or activity-based KPIs. These measure the health of your relationship and the progress of your strategic plan. How many high-level meetings have you had with key stakeholders? Have you successfully moved a key stakeholder from being a blocker to neutral or a supporter on your stakeholder map? You can even create a relationship score where you periodically survey key stakeholders at the hospital to gauge their perception of you as a partner. Another crucial KPI is the number of joint value creation projects initiated. Are you working together on a clinical study, a patient education program, a process improvement initiative? These are clear signs of a deepening partnership. The key is to review these KPIs regularly. A quarterly business review with the virtual account team is essential. This is where you look at the data. What's working? What's not? Are we on track to meet our objectives in the account plan? This is not a fault-finding exercise. It is a problem-solving session. Based on the KPI review, you adjust your plan. Maybe you need to bring in the MSL more often. Maybe you need to address a new concern raised by the pharmacy head. This data-driven review cycle ensures that your CAM strategy remains agile, responsive, and always focused on delivering results. It moves you from guesswork to a predictable, manageable process for growth. A world-class CAM strategy needs world-class people. And to get the best out of your people, you need a modern performance appraisal system. The old way, a single stressful meeting at the end of the year to decide a rating and an increment, is broken. It creates fear, demotivates people, and often fails to drive real improvement. In today's fast-paced environment, especially in a dynamic market like India, we need a system that is continuous, forward-looking, and focused on development, not just judgment. This is the shift from annual review to continuous coaching. The new cycle starts with balanced goal setting. Goals shouldn't just be about sales numbers. They should be a mix of what and how. The what includes the hard targets from the CAM plan, the sales, the market share, the formulary wins. The how is about the competencies and behaviors. How well did the CAM collaborate with the virtual team? How skilled are they at stakeholder mapping? How effectively did they present the value proposition? Using a balanced scorecard approach for goals ensures you are rewarding not just the result, but also the sustainable professional behaviors that lead to long-term success. The mid-year review is transformed from a grading exercise into a powerful coaching conversation. This is not about giving a score, it's about checking in, offering support, and removing roadblocks. A great manager uses a model like GROW: goal, reality, options, will. They start by revisiting the goal. Then they ask about the current reality. Where are we right now? What challenges are you facing? Then they explore options. What are some different ways we could approach this? Who else can we involve? Finally, they establish the will or the way forward. So, what specific steps will you take before our next chat? This empowers the employee to find their own solutions and builds a culture of trust and support. The annual review then becomes a summary of these ongoing conversations. There should be no surprises. It's a data-anchored discussion, looking back at the balanced goals and the progress made throughout the year. But its most important function is to look forward. The conversation should focus on the employee's career aspirations and create a concrete development plan for the coming year. What skills do they need to build? What training do they need? Do they want to become a better negotiator, a better leader? By tying CAM, continuous coaching, and developmental appraisals together, pharma companies create a winning system. They build stronger partnerships with hospitals, and they build stronger, more engaged, and more successful teams that will lead them into the future.